been tagged by my good friend Arthur from Germany to do a 5 survival items video. So that's, if you could only take 5 items that you had to survive with, what would you take? And the funny thing is, years and years ago I actually did a 5 items video before, and I kept thinking recently about redoing it, because I know as I've grown older and done more things and used more things, I know my opinions have changed on what I would have took last time. So I'll show you my 5 survival items, what I would take. This is it here, and I've kind of done it in a way I could actually carry it. And I suppose the first thing would be I'll take this paracord off. Now Arthur's video he did and showed his stuff was interesting. He took quite a few different things to what I've took in this one. I could always put a link to his I'll put a link to his video in the description, so if you want to have a look at that you can. Right, so I'll unravel this, and this is my 5 items. And then I'll kind of explain them a bit. So the first thing is paracord. Now obviously with paracord there's loads of things you can do with that. Traps, tying things together. I could use this to rig up the tarp for a shelter. Loads of different things you could use that for. Second thing is the tarp itself. Now you could rig this up as lots of different shelters. I've seen tons of them. You could rig it up, like put a ridge line along, and you can have it coming up, down, and then even have a bit coming underneath you, so you got something to lay on as well. You could even probably wrap yourself up in this. Loads of different ways you could use a tarp as a shelter. And also I was thinking, if I was using it to survive, you could also use it for collecting water, or have the water run off the roof into a container or something. But there was a funny thing that Arthur was saying about survival. I suppose this all depends on what you kind of class or what the situation is. Because he was saying about how he'd bought this I can't remember what they're called, but it's like a kind of cloth, like bandana kind of scarf thing. And he was saying he wished he could have got it in bright orange. And that makes perfect sense. Obviously if you're in a survival situation, you're going to want something bright so people can see you, if that's what you got to do, get out of there and be rescued or whatever. So it probably would have paid if I'd have had a bright yellow tarp or a bright orange tarp to use that, because at least that'd definitely be seen from the sky or whatever, or anywhere, if it was bright orange. But it just happens that I've got a green camouflage one. But if I'd have had a yellow one or an orange one, I probably would have picked that, if it's that kind of survival situation. Now the second thing is the ferro rod. Don't want to burn my tarp. Now obviously that's for making fire. But you could, I suppose, even use that like that for signalling. Obviously you need fire for warmth, boiling water, doing signal fires, whatever. The third thing, or the fourth thing, sorry, was a knife. I had to have quite a long think about this, and I had to get most of my knives out and keep trying them and feeling them. Because like, I do like the Mora knives, but they're not full tang, and a lot of people tell you that doesn't matter at all, that they're not full tang. And it probably doesn't matter, but they're quite light knives, not much good for chopping and things like that. Because this thing's got a fair bit of weight behind it. And the other thing I was thinking, I was going to take, funny enough, the German army knife what Arthur had given me, because I do like to use a saw. Sawing things can make things so much quicker. But the German army knife, it's got a brilliant saw, it's got a brilliant blade, it's got an awl on it, and a corkscrew thing. Now if the blade had been locking on the knife blade, I may have took it, but because it's a folding knife, so it made me think maybe not in a survival situation. I'll take a bushcrafting any day. When I go out camping, whatever, I always take that out with me, guaranteed every time. But I was thinking in a survival situation, because you've got to use your knife for loads of different things, without folding on your fingers, you might have had it then, because small injuries can turn into bigger things. So I took, or I'm going to take, whatever, the Castrum Swedish forest knife. Reason I like this knife, you can tell it's a well thought out knife, definitely. Whoever designed this or whatever thought it out well. It's got a fairly thick blade. I don't think you'd break that in a hurry. It's got quite a bit of weight behind it. Handle is very comfortable. It's got a ready drilled lanyard hole, because I was thinking about taking or putting in this my Condor 5-inch bushcraft knife, but it hasn't got a lanyard hole. I suppose you could drill one, but mine hasn't got one, and to me that's a factor of things flying out your hand, especially if you're chopping. The thing is with this knife, I don't know whether this is what the intention of this handle is for, but to me, see the way this handle is shaped, kind of comes down and comes thicker again at the end, and it's got a slight curve on it. It seems to me you could hold this like this, and that would be an excellent chopping knife. You hold it like that, as long as you've got your lanyard on, if it comes out it's not going to go too far. Really could do a fair bit of chopping with that, definitely. It's a type of carbon steel as well. It's a weird carbon steel. Well, not weird, but it's slightly different to normal. It's K720 carbon steel, whatever that is. But decent knife that is. And that is a knife I would take. Decent point on it as well, quite sharp point. So you could gouge things and make holes in things. Nice knife, that's what I would take. And last thing would be a metal bottle. Now in the video I did years ago, the kind of equivalent to this is I'd said I would take a metal cup for boiling water, and at the time I thought that was a brilliant idea. But then nowadays I'm thinking, yeah, you can collect water in a cup, you can boil it in a cup, you can't really carry it and store it in a cup. You can't walk around with a cup like this all day if you've got to travel. Whereas with a metal bottle, I should be able to collect water in it, put this in the fire, boil it, and once it's cooled, put the lid back on, and I can carry the water with me. Now if I'd had a bottle with a wider opening on it, I would have actually used that, but I haven't, and I want to show you what I would take from the stuff I've got. So it would be this bottle, but like I said, if I'd had a wider mouth one, I would have took that. So we got the tarp, and this is about, it's roughly about 2.5 meters by 3 meters roughly. So you can make loads of different configurations of setup for this. The paracord, and there's quite a lot here. Ferro rod, knife, and the metal bottle. Now what I've got to do now is tag 3 people. Now Arthur was from Germany and he's tagged me, so I'm going to tag someone in England, or maybe a couple of people in England, and I'm going to tag a friend in America. Right, there's hundreds of decent people out there on YouTube who could do this video. Plenty of decent people who I know, decent friendly people on YouTube I could pick. So it's quite hard picking people, but the 3 I thought of was, one's going to be pretty blatant. It's my twin brother Mike, Weaponcollector. So I've tagged Mike to do it. And then I'm going to tag from the UK again my friend Daz. Now I've been bushcrafting with him quite a few times. He's a decent bloke. He knows a bit about this and that. So I'm going to tag Daz, and his YouTube is Mikkyo Ryu. And then the last person I'm going to tag is from America. Another decent bloke, Mike, TrackerScout on YouTube. Now I'm just hoping that Mike has got a camera, because he's done videos before, but I don't know if his camera's working. If it's not working, then we'll just have to wait until it is working, and then he can do the video. But for all I know, it could be working, but see what happens. So I've tagged Mike, TrackerScout, Daz, Mikkyo Ryu, and my twin brother Mike, Weaponcollector. That's my 5 items. If I've forgotten anything, I hope not. But anyway, cheers for watching. Oh, what I'll do, I'll put links to all those channels in the description. I'll put their names, whatever. I'll see if I can put a link to Arthur's video in the description, and I'll see if I can put a link to my original old 5 items video, so you can see the massive difference of what I picked then to what I'd pick now. And it's quite a big difference. It actually surprised me when I rethought about it. So anyway, cheers for watching, and I'll see you later.